Sierra Oscar Foxtrot, this is 614. Status check on podcast. I'll copy over.
614, this is Sierra Oscar Foxtrot. Roger, copy all. Podcast going live. Time now.
Hello and welcome to episode 16 of the Sierra Oscar Foxtrot podcast. I am your host you should know by now if you've watched the 16th episode. This is Brian Stanfill. Hi, that's me. And with me is none other than Brian Gwatney. Hey, there is applause and flash bulbs everywhere. Yes. And today we are filming in a secret location that apparently everybody really knows. Just outside of the house. You know, it's funny, the wife, she's like, you should do the podcast here, because I usually do it at my office where it's quiet.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, no, there's 10 million interruptions. Oh, no, nobody would interrupt. Let's see, just in setting this up, the father-in-law shows up. I mean, out of nowhere. How does he know to look here? I don't know. So, yeah. And I might show this later, but I am staring at a pig's butt right now.
Okay. For the grill?
Nope. Just a large black pig hanging out with his butt.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my view. And we're gonna take a picture of that. And it's gonna go right here. Because, these things are reversed. Well, sir, you served us in the Army. Us as in the Royal S, as in the United States. Why the Army?
Okay. Well, when I was about 4 years old, I seen the National Guard, Reserve, Green Reserve going out to the training area at Camp Robinson to access the road I was on. After watching the war movie I had going at the time, and it just kind of excited me, and I'd go out there to the end of the driveway and wave at them. They'd wave back at me, and I was like, from that time, that's what I was motivated to do, going to school. And when I was getting at that age, I would go see the recruiters. Well, the Marines, they wouldn't guarantee you an MOS. I was like, no, it didn't hurt too many stuff like that. So I went to the Army recruiters. They showed me all the little CDs of different MOSs, Rangers, Airborne, Infantry. And they say, hey, take a look at this. Took it in there, and I watched it. And I was like, that's what I wanted, combat engineer. Build bridges, blow stuff up.
So you were in the reserves. Anything fun? Anything exciting? Anything memorable from the reserve time?
No, that I was in there, the reserves until from 88 to November of 89. We were building a road into a Boy Scout camp. So we would go up there about every weekend. We'd clear trees, grade roads, all that kind of stuff. We had a pretty good time on there. Yeah, but my first training exercise, we go out to Camp Robinson. It was range day, and we get out there, and we set up our perimeter. We set up our shelter halves, and it starts thunderstorming like you wouldn't believe. And so we went to range that day. It was a pretty cool deal. And then when we was trying to pull out to go back to the where our reserve depot was, 2 5-ton trucks stuck. They had to get wreckers out there.
Wow. Even in the run flat stage, like, beep, I love how they had all the buttons there.
Oh yeah.
So, you didn't spend too much time in the reserves, and then you jumped right over the Army. You stayed in Washington, aside from all the hippies. Were there a lot of hippies when you were there?
No, it was still pretty conservative while I was there. They complained about people from California moving in, but for the most part, they were still pretty conservative.
And then they all moved in as California.
Yeah.
They ruined it for everybody
Yes.
over there.
Absolutely, always.
And that's probably why there was still only an I-5 and no other roads.
Yeah.
They're like, let's just keep one road and just make it the only road that goes north and south.
Yep.
So you got to head up to Mount Rainier.
Yes, sir.
What was that like?
Well, it was the hardest and the funnest thing I ever did. So we had a captain in my battalion, my engineer battalion, and he was a professional mountain climber. He got with the battalion commander and asked him if we can do a mountain team, and before the unit disbanded, and they said yeah. So we trained up for about 6 weeks and went and climbed Mount Rainier. And first day we went from the base to 10,000 feet, and that was interesting. Knee deep snow. Get up there. We get our shelters put up. We make our little snow walls, and got altitude sickness while I was there. And the only way to cure it is rest. So once we got everything set up, I went to sleep. We stayed all day the next day at 10,000 feet. And then at midnight, we started climbing for the top, and from 10,000 to 14,411 feet, it took us 9 hours.
Wow.
And so we get to the top, and we take our victory photos, go down inside the volcano bowl, and sign the book. And there's still steam coming up out of it because it's still actually an active volcano. And then we descended, and we had one guy fall through the ice on the descent, and we did our training, emergency procedures to keep him from going all the way through. And he fell to his up to his, I guess, armpits. He climbed out, and we continued down. It only took us like 2.5 hours to come down. So, and then we spent the night again, and then came down the next day.
The altitude sickness, what was that like?
I had like I was kind of shaking, had a super bad headache, and I wasn't like cold shivering, but I was still kind of had the shakes. And like I said, as soon as we got everything set up, I crawled into the sleeping bag and went to sleep. And because they said you can't take Tylenol or aspirin for it, there's nothing that's going to solve it except get used to the altitude.
Would you say it was comparable to a Sunday morning after going out?
Hangover? Yeah, it sure was.
Got to get a little hair of the dog, in the morning.
Yeah, exactly.
So were you guys like tethered to each other? I mean, like you see in movies?
Yeah, we had teams of 3 roped in together, and a few teams of 4. So they didn't go by rank. On the middle guy is usually the rope team leader, and he based it all off your training evaluation if you was a rope team leader or not. And so a butterfly knot is what you had in the middle, and you had a guy on the one end of the rope and one guy on the other end of the rope. And it was pretty interesting getting tugged back and forth as you was going up the hill. Well, mountain.
Was there any steep, near vertical climbs, or was it kind of like a pathway?
Well, the only real vertical stuff we had would be going up to 10,000 feet. So it was pretty steep going from there to the top, but it was difficult because the air is pretty thin.
Gotcha. And how did it feel at 14,000 feet?
Well, we all carried a beer with us in our backpack, and so when the whole all the guys got up there, we got together and we popped open a can of beer and drank it, and you'd be surprised how much more alcohol affects you when you're less on oxygen. So yeah, you could get drunk a lot faster up there than you can down here.
There you go. I'm surprised they don't have a bar up there.
They should.
Believe it or not, there is a bar at the bottom of the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, I can believe that. So we went to the bar afterwards.
Yeah.
When we finally got everything packed up, we went to a bar and we ripped and roared it up, celebrating.
And then the next day was back to having that altitude sickness again with the shakes.
Yeah, kind of like that.
So you you got deployed with the same unit to Desert Storm, I believe.
That's correct. Yes, and that happened in January of '91.
Now, what was that like? Because that was really our first major muscle movement. I mean, you had Panama, but that was a little thing. Grenada was a little thing, and that was really more of a specialized airborne assault nature. This is a big, this was Desert Storm. You're talking tanks. You're talking mechanized and all sorts of craziness. Because I was in middle school and I followed it intently.
Oh yeah, well, of course we had, they were sending units left and right over there, and they had a pretty large buildup. So when they called my unit on alert to go, one of the platoons was, as a Ranger support platoon. And so they took, some guys from another company to make up a whole company of engineers. And when we got there, our lieutenant, had us go to the 1st Infantry Division. And one platoon went to the 82nd and 101st. We was upset because we wanted to go to the high-speed units because we had just rotated off a Ranger support platoon. So, we didn't want to go to a ground unit. And he said, no, it's going to be better because the 1st said that they would keep us together as a platoon. And the other platoons are going to get all broken up and the people placed where they wanted them. So that was a good thing. I had the same platoon leader, platoon sergeant, and everybody through the whole thing.
Was there anything, any excitement going on over there when you got there?
Oh, man, let me tell you. We get off the 141. It's in the middle of the night. They shuffle us into this big, huge tent, but it looks like a warehouse, but it's a tent. And so we're sitting there in these little cots, probably about knee high. And so we're trying to get some sleep, and daggum, a scud alert goes off. And so we get our mask and stuff on, and the guy next to me, he can't get his sleeping bag done zip. And he's struggling. Finally, he says, to heck with it. He stops. About 2 minutes later, they walk in with the megaphone saying, all clear, and his bag unzips. It's just like he was destined to get hit by a scud. So,
Well, good thing it missed.
Oh, yeah, very good thing.
So, and that was when you first got there. So, did you make it all the way into Iraq?
Yep, we sure did. We went into Iraq during the ground war, and then we came back into Kuwait and then back to our original location. So after the ground war was over, we spent 2 weeks blowing up all kinds of equipment, ammo, guns, AK-47s, M9 Berettas, tanks, armored personnel carriers, 500-pound bombs that were exploded. So That was a lot of fun and cleared a few bunkers along the way.
Nice. It was a lot of fun. Any combatants?
As in direct fire?
Yeah.
No direct fire. The only thing is the unit we was supporting. They had some artillery come in on them, but it was like a couple of rounds, and that was taken care of pretty quick.
Oh wow. Now, that'd be a scary moment.
Yeah, we had a MLRS battery to our rear, and you could see them firing off. And I tell you what, that's one heck of a fireworks show right there.
I bet. That would be actually kind of cool. I know right now they see that kind of fireworks going on over there in the Ukraine.
Yeah.
So, but I think they're holding tight, holding strong there, Ukraine. Let's stay tough.
Yep. Stay tough, guys.
So, aside from that, and you came back from the Desert Storm, went to Germany, I believe, right?
Yeah. In November of '91, I went to Germany, and Charlie Company, 12th Engineer Battalion, and had a lot of good times there with those guys. I went from light infantry to mechanized, and that was a little bit different, but still had a pretty good time.
Yeah. Were you married when you got over there?
Yeah. I got married in after I climbed Mount Rainier in July.
See, it's a different experience when you're not married.
That's right. Yeah.
But better to be married, for sure. Yep. So we'll move on from that one. Yes. So after Germany, because Germany is a lot of fun. Did you pick up any of the language?
Oh yeah. I could give directions, take directions, order off a menu, and have a short conversation. But you know what they say: if you don't use it, you lose it. So
That's true.
but I really enjoyed Germany, going to Italy, Switzerland, Austria, France. I mean, it was a good experience. I really enjoyed it.
Nice. How much longer were you in for after Germany?
I stayed in another year. I had to extend my enlistment to go back to Fort Lewis with the unit, First Armored Division that I was assigned to there in Germany. So it just worked out real well. They just happened to make the decision to send the whole brigade to Fort Lewis to become part of the 2nd Infantry Division. So I just extended a year on my enlistment and went with it.
Okay. What was it like getting out?
Well, be honest with you, at first it was a little scary, but they did a really good job. I have to say, when you was out processing, they had you go to these classes, learn how to do resumes, how to prepare for interviews, and etc. And I learned a lot in those things, and I pretty much got a job. It took me about six weeks, I think, about 6 weeks from the time I actually left to have a job. Of course, I had terminal leave, 60 days terminal leave. So I had about 2 weeks left on my terminal leave when I finally found a job, and I went to work for Wonder Bread as a route driver.
That's Now, was this in Washington, or did you move back to your home?
I moved to Illinois.
Is that where you're from originally?
No, I'm from Arkansas originally.
The Arkansas.
Yep.
So it was like Kansas was so great they wanted another one, but they couldn't call it Kansas too. They go Arkansas. Why name it Arkansas though? And
why name it Arkansas? Well, actually, back in the day, it was ARKASAW, or Arkansas with a W on the end instead of the SAS.
Okay.
And somewhere down the line, they changed the SAS. Don't ask me why, but
That's interesting. All right, I will not ask you why, sir.
because I don't know why. They just changed it. Legislature changed it, I think.
Now, here's something you might know because you were around during this time. The first Walmart was in Arkansas.
Yes. Yes, it was.
What was that experience? Was there blue light specials back then?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah.
Sam
The
Walton
little
himself?
The little blue lights at the end of the aisles. Oh, yeah.
Sam Walton himself. It's almost like, being courted around by Disney, Walt Disney. But you're like, wow, it's the man.
Yeah.
Maybe back then it wasn't so big and like, wow, but I can imagine, the first one.
Yeah. Because, when we were younger, they had this big thing about made in USA stuff. So, and, that's gone by the wayside since he's passed away. But that's the reason why people wanted to go, because get as much made in the USA stuff as possible.
Well, that's impressive. And that's your factoid of the day, the Walmart opening up.
Okay.
For me, anyway, that's my factoid.
Okay. You want my factoid? Well, you can come to Arkansas and go dig for diamonds.
Diamonds?
So you can go dig and find a diamond for your woman right here in Arkansas.
Yeah. Do you have to claim it when you fly back, the diamond?
No, you don't have to claim it.
That's what I'm
as a matter of fact, best thing to do is go dig for diamonds in the morning, and then they got a water park that you can visit in the afternoon to cool off.
Now, I want the whole experience. I need somebody there with a machete, and I have to put it up my butt, to sneak it out.
Yeah.
I don't know if they offer that. Welcome to the theme park. Blood Diamond theme park here in Arkansas.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, we could make it that happen, but then we get in trouble.
Okay. All right. Hey, there you go. Well, you just sign a waiver and you're good.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool, though. Why just Arkansas? Why is that one spot? Where's all our other diamond mines? We should have diamond mines.
Yeah, we should. It should be in several states. I don't ask me why, but they found them there years ago, and people used to come there and look for diamonds in the state, and then they ended up making it into a state park.
That's interesting. I mean, you'd think like anywhere where there's coal. Is there a coal industry in Arkansas?
We have a lot of bauxite, which is the mineral they use to make aluminum.
Okay. Bam. Look at that. There's factoids just pouring into this show all about Arkansas. So, man, Wonder Bread. I mean, off the top, it just doesn't sound like very exciting.
No, it was an uneventful job, and a little over a year at doing that, and then I got the opportunity to go to work for the railroad.
Now that sounds like a fun job.
Yeah,
driving trains.
Yeah, driving trains.
How long have you been doing that?
26 years.
Bam. Pension number 2? Oh, no, you didn't retire out of the Army.
No, didn't retire.
Does it all count? That's not a federal job. That's a...
No, it's private.
Okay.
Private company.
Still, man. I mean, it would be cool to be up there as a train conductor.
Oh, yeah. It is one of those jobs people think that's really neat and want to aspire to become, but it is a demanding job, especially on your family, because you're gone a lot.
I could see that. But it's not like you get lost. They just follow
No, but you can get stuck on a train for 24 hours.
That's a long time. You ever get held up?
Held up?
Yeah.
You talking about?
Yeah, like Butch Cassidy, like.
No, nothing like that. There's, I did one time. I had in Chicago, and I got a train. I got ordered for a train to take it, to Galesburg, Illinois, and we go out there and get on the train, and I'm walking through the locomotives to make sure they're signed, and ready to use. And I'll get to the rear locomotive. I open up the rear door, and I step in, and there's 3 bodies laying in the floor. And I was just like, oh, shit. So I backed out, shut the door, and I went and called the train dispatcher. Said, "Hey, we got 3 people on the rear locomotive of our consist," and so they sent some special agents, railroad special agents, out. One went one door, and the other went the other door, and they was just three immigrants sleeping in the floor because it was warm, because they had the heaters going full blast. So I didn't know at first. I didn't know whether they was dead or whatever. So, but yeah, that was a little interesting.
That's cool. You could fall in and be like the number 2 guy on the door stack. Just come right in.
No, I let them take care of it. So,
Wow. So what did they do with those guys? They just sent them on their way, or?
Well, they took them off the train and put them in the back seat of their patrol cars, and I guess took them and processed them.
Gotcha. Well, that's interesting. So the train companies have their own special units for this, like
yes. Yep, they're actually federal law enforcement officers, just like the U.S. Marshals.
Oh, cool. Well, that's interesting. Wow, 26 years. Yeah, ever hit a car?
I ran over a lawnmower once.
A lawnmower. How does somebody put a lawnmower on the train track if not intentional?
Well, I don't know. They actually pushed it out on. I wasn't really paying attention. I had looked down, and the guy in the cab with me says, "What the heck is that?" And I looked up, and they had pushed that dadgum lawnmower right out there on the tracks, and we ran over it. And of course, it crunched it up. So I have hit a car. This car come across the tracks. The front of the axle broke. The control arm and stuff broke, and it was stuck there. They was trying to push the car off the tracks. I'm blowing the whistle. I got all the brakes applied, and I hit that car and pushed it off the side of the road. Tore up the car, of course, and kind of felt sorry for the guy and the gal, but it wasn't nothing I can do about it.
True. Who gets a ticket in that matter?
They do, for trespassing.
No shit, really?
Yep.
Shouldn't have gone on the track, sir. Here's your ticket. And go haul your car away. Ooh.
Yep.
It's like a double no-go there. Wow. So there you go. Was it theatrical, like big explosions, or you just
No. We was actually going pretty slow by the time we hit the car, and it just kind of shoved it off the side of the tracks.
So, 20, say you have any intent to like retire anytime soon?
If I could, I would, but I got to go. I have my 30 years of service in, and you have to be 60. That's the requirements.
Both 30 years and 60?
Yep.
To retire?
That's right.
So if you're 30 years and 50, no, you got to wait.
You got to wait till you're 60 years old.
Oh, wow.
So I got 9 more years to go.
9 more years. But still, you're driving a huge train. That's kind of fun.
Yes.
I would do that.
Yep. They sent me to school for 6 weeks to learn how to drive trains.
Nice. So, what else are you doing besides driving trains?
Well, I have a small business selling Amsoil, and I have some retail accounts, and I service them on a weekly basis.
That is interesting. And I want to note that Brian here has donated some AMS oil, right? AMS oil. I'm saying it right.
Yep.
Sometimes I'm horrible with pronunciation of things. But yes, Brian here has donated AMS oil as well as an awesome contribution to Veteran Harbor, which is the whole reason why I am doing this podcast. It's for the sake of Veteran Harbor. We just recently had our golf tournament, which was a lot of fun. I got a trophy for being the worst. And I always thought you're trying to go for high score, but this apparently didn't work on that one. But no, it was a lot of fun. We did have a bunch of guys show up, and we played some golf. We ate some. Too bad you couldn't come down, but I know the train tracks just don't run straight to the golf course.
No, they do not.
No, but I do appreciate your help to the cause because. That stuff's going to go toward the equipment, of course, for the lawn care, as it is a virtual jungle over there at our first Veteran Harbor house. So we got that going for us. And like I said, so thank you, sir, for both your donation and your contribution. As well as, for in case you guys don't know, go to www.veteranharbor.com. It is, I'll show you the link right there, above my head, right above my. Well, I'd have to. I don't know. Is this going toward you? Am I pointing toward you now, there, Brian?
Yes.
Okay. It's crazy. So when you do it on the computer, everybody's like reversed. My left is my right, and it's just I'm going in the wrong direction. So it's a little disorienting. It's like you're in the fifth dimension. But no, so Veteran Harbor definitely is a cause. Go to the website, check it out, and thank you all for your contributions and your participation in our awesome golf fundraiser. And I'm sure we'll be able to do it again. And maybe, just maybe, I might not be last. The next one. Now that I got a set of vintage golf clubs. Came out of a house. The guy was like, hey, we got all this crap here. You want something? I was like, hey, those golf clubs. Yay. Straight from the 60s. They were hippie clubs, I guess. So, speaking of which, are there anything that you are supporting as far as causes other than Veteran Harbor?
Well, not at this time. Like I said, I supported you in Vernon Harbor, and so I have tried to help out on some social media, helping veterans. So hosting some events like that on the radio, trying to bring attention that veterans can get some help through the VA.
Yes, and I'll tell you what, Brian here is just amazing on the app Clapper. You're huge on Clapper. He's got the Clapper, I've got the Clapper. I mean, everybody should get the Clapper.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
It really doesn't.
Yeah.
But now, if you do, you get to see Brian there and me sometimes. I have been so crazy busy with 10 million other things that I wish I could spend more time on the Clapper. But it's the American TikTok is what Clapper is. So
Yes.
I do encourage other people who do see this and hear this, follow the sound of my voice to the Clapper app. There it is. Follow me. There I go.
Yeah.
Check it out, though. A lot of awesome people out there, and Brian is definitely one of them. He's got, how many followers you got? You have a large following, sir.
Yeah, I have 4.9 thousand followers.
Bam.
Yeah.
And a lot of inspirational and fun videos I see, a lot of how-tos.
Yes.
Yeah, and you're doing a lot for vets on there.
Yes. Yeah. And we also we have a veteran that he gives actual first aid classes live on Clapper. So,
It's true.
so just trying to help everybody out.
Yep. Today's was the sucking chest wound
Yes.
/ other type of I can't even say it. Thoracic issues.
Yes, exactly. And hope I never have to treat one.
No. Nah, I don't want to. Wow. Anything up and coming?
No, there's not really much up and coming. Just our normal clapper stuff and more first aid classes with our common friend, and got some more tips coming out off of clapper, and that's about it, really.
Man, what's the next tip?
Well, actually, it's a reverb of about 2-story houses and fires. So another tip on how to evacuate your children out of a 2-story house.
Gotcha. And it's not going down the stairs.
No, it's not, because you can't always go down the stairs.
Now, if it's in the wintertime, you can just jump right into the snow. That'd be fun.
Oh, that would be fun.
I think so.
Yep.
At least for 2 seconds, and then you're freezing your butt off because you're wet and cold.
Right.
But you are next to a fire, so you can stay warm.
Yep.
I guess there's pros and cons the way you look at it.
Oh yeah, there is.
So that's cool. Now, fire is definitely important. Fire safety. A lot of kids get scared and they go to hide, and that's the worst thing they could do.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm glad you're out there throwing that info. So once again, check them out on Clapper. And over here, bam, this point in the right direction. There we go. Bam, right there. His Clapper handle. So go find this guy on Clapper. Stalk him. Be his friend. See what he likes. Yep. Talk to him every day. I do. Talk about pig butts again.
Pig butts. That's what I'm talking about.
Bam. I'm staring at one right now. Again, he's back. So our pig, we have a potbelly pig. His name is Norbert. And well, you'll see his picture up here. Yeah, so he's hanging out, and he's just the optimal, view right here. And then he gets up, he goes and muddles around somewhere, and then he's right back in the same spot. It's like his favorite spot.
Is he a pet pig?
Yes. We've got 2 pet pigs, but we are soon to incorporate a not pet pig, so we can breed, and I think that it's going to be a Berkshire.
Okay.
So we're going to kind of turn it into a little bit of a business, sell some piglets, make some money.
Yep. Bacon.
Yep. So that's the plan with those pigs. These are just going to loaf about and not get eaten by a bear.
Yeah. Well, I got 10 dogs. They could help out a little bit.
Oh, yeah? I'll blow the dog whistle. Let's see if they find me.
Oh, I'm sure they would.
There we go. Bam. Well, I guess I think that's about wraps it up. I think, it's been great seeing you, and I'm glad we got to talk. And all you guys are, getting to listen to our awesomeness.
Yep. Got to have that awesomeness.
Yes. So, thanks for showing up and doing some podcasting with me, and hope to see you guys out there in the netherverse, or the etherverse, or the internet world, the World Wide Web, the wide area network. Can we say that? Wide area network. Yeah. Hope to see you all come again. And remember, 1st and 15th, Mr. Brian Gwatney, sapper, combat engineer, veteran. And, more importantly, he drives trains for a living. That's him.
Choo-choo.
Hell yeah. He's very strong because he works those coals. Feeding the furnace. I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. Please like and follow so you can stay in the know for the next one.